This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk about my lovely trip to the islands and possibly the most insightful we've ever been on copywriting and triggering.
3, 2, 1. I'm in control of my saliva today, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast. So myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, buddy?
Well, good mate. Yeah, you need to give everyone the context around that because yesterday we tried to film the podcast and Tom's internet was cutting it out, but it's probably for the best because Tom had also been to the dentist that day and he had a filling, so he was a bit like, like yeah.
I was in not controlling myself very well. Like my lips were. It affected me a little bit. I was like, because then I was like, obviously we normally do a podcast, and I was like, oh, look, I'll be done by 4, and then I totally forgot that I had the hygienist, and then I had she put the stuff in. I was like, oh shit, this is going to be a problem for speaking, isn't it? Later, I was like, really good idea to do a podcast straight after having anesthetic in your lips and your gums. Cool, smart, good work, good, smart. But my teeth are all a lot whiter today, so which is nice. Yeah, who knew that dentists that also do hygienist work are better than just hygienists? So apparently the last hygienist I saw, because I just quickly wanted one before I was going away for New Year's because I knew there was going to be photos and stuff there. I was like, oh, I just want my teeth cleaned, blah, 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 blah. And then I went to like a local person. Yeah, always, if you've got a good dentist or a good person, just stick with them. Far better.
Yeah, I feel like dentistry is one of those things that you get what you pay for. I know it's probably same in most things, but like I really do think you go, oh, it's probably quite expensive, and it feels really expensive because you don't feel like you're getting anything. But I'm sure it's like, yeah, but it must 100%. Be worth it. Like
100%. I'm like, because I'm walking out of that place like literally yesterday. I was like, fuck, I've just paid like 600 quid. I'm like, but it's dental work. It needs to be done. It's like it's gross if it's not. And I was speaking to my mate Nathan, and he was like, fuck. I haven't been since I've been back home, and he's been back in England for nearly 4 years now. And I was like,
yeah, I don't go anywhere near as frequently as I should. Like, I just fucking need to. You reminded me yesterday actually that I need to fucking do it as well. I was like, shit.
Like, fun. It's such a British culture, isn't it? Because but there's no NHS dentists. They don't exist anymore. Pretty much, you can't. Like they're always like, oh, we got a waiting list of like 7 years. Like, all right, fine. Yeah. But we can see you private. How does tomorrow? 3?
Yeah,
tomorrow 3.
Yeah. You pay for it. We can see you tomorrow, but we got a waiting list for NHS for 7 years. Yeah.
It's like okay. So I'm just like, I'm in the fortunate scenario that I think that the whole NHS is awesome, but if people can afford to go private, they should make that choice if they can afford to. So then that alleviates the NHS system for more people who need it. That is my opinion. I don't know. You're like, no, fuck him. You should be fine. Like, you don't know. I don't know.
No, I agree. I mean, when I move back, I'll be paying private. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like is a part of it for me is that I think that as you get a bit older and get to our age again, you realise that your health is everything. It sounds really fucking wanky saying that. Like 20-year-olds listen to this and go, oh, fucking all right, lads, fucking getting older.
You think our demographic is 20-20? I don't think that anybody...
Maybe even late 20s. Maybe late 20s.
To this is 20 to 21. Please let me know. Fucking hell. Maybe
please let us know. Yeah. No, I just think that it's a bit like, you realise that paying that, health insurance, private healthcare, you just goes fucking, it's priceless. Like you think about why you work and why you do these things. I just think when you get to that point, there's definitely a thing individually for you, but like I guess the other thing that you're touching on there is the sort of maybe the slightly moral duty of going take the load off the thing that is for people who can't afford private healthcare, I guess, which is another whole can of worms. Which you won't go into, Tom, because you don't have enough time. Let's be honest.
No. But people have been about a podcast for 2 weeks, so we should probably explain where we've been. Did we explain where we've been? It's all my fault.
You didn't explain where you've been, Tom. Well, I mean, if anyone's been following you on Instagram, they know that you've been living the high life, mate, swanning off in all these amazing places. I mean, I've been doing the same old shit, same old boring shit. I've been here doing nothing.
I mean, like next week, Dan's going to be doing the same thing. So
I'm off on holiday next week.
Yeah, exactly. So just intermittent. I think our podcast thing will say monthly now. I'm like, fuck. You've got to get back more frequent.
I feel like we've got a bit of catching up to do now. Really do.
I know. It's just like, okay, probably need to make some effort into this, but oh well.
Maybe we should do a live one. Maybe we should do a live one on your stag do and then also on your wedding, like just to make up for some, just do some like a live video one.
I can guarantee there is. We share a couple of clients. I reckon definitely like Clara will be like, she'd been listening to this and be like, yes, 100%. I want to watch that.
100%. 100%. Yeah, shout out to Clara. She wouldn't shut up about High Rocks all check-in today. We had a call and all she was talking about was High Rocks. And I was just like, oh, Tom's this, Tom's that. And I was like, I know he's shit. I know you'd have done loads better without him. You shouldn't be with him. There's loads better coaches that I could have taken you much further than he did. You know, just trying to poach you as a client for that as well. I was like, useless.
Yeah, fine.
She literally for our call had her bag on. She had the little badge on. She was ready to go. She couldn't stop talking about it. Yeah. So, yeah. There you go. Same with all you lot, and all you fucking IROCs. It's all the same. But useless.
I need to do one. Like my friend keeps like teasing me, and he's like, "Oh, do you want?" He keeps sending me the things. I feel like I want to get when I'm in like Ironman shape. I'll book one, maybe, and do a doubles, something like that. Like it's fine.
You're such a sheep. You are. You're such a sheep.
Practice what you do. We'll talk about that in a minute. But
you're doing an Ironman, and Ironman is like leagues above High Rocks. Like if you can do an Ironman, you could walk a fucking High Rocks backwards and beat half the times these people are posting. They're fucking stupid.
I tell you who I would beat. You're listening, Jake. What the hell?
Oh yeah, he's useless, mate. He can't even. He can't run. He can't train. He can't eat. He can't do anything. All he can do is diet.
Just put it out there. Clara beat him.
Not surprising, to be fair.
There we
Not
go.
surprising.
Lovely.
Because he probably would have had about 4 pints of Guinness before he went around the next day. So yeah, he loves a drink.
It was good. Like from the 2 athletes I had over the weekend, we improved by total of 20. Well, no, like from like starting to then 23 minutes. That is it. That's right. You take
I wouldn't know, mate. Like, to me, it literally means nothing.
Not bad. You're like, don't know.
It could take 5 hours for all I know. It could take 2 minutes. I've got honestly no idea about it.
Well, I think Alex's first one, he did like a 1:30 something. Then he actually had a really shit one where he was super ill at 1:38, and then we got it back down to 1:21. But he was also basically ill, noro, sweating the night before, so really good. Had cramp. He had to stop for cramp for over 3 minutes. Really good. So he should have been. His target time was 1:19. He should have been down there. Because Clara's was about the same. Her target time was 1:19, and she did a 1:16, and she beat her time by like I think she did 1:23, 1:24 previously. She also can't do maths because she was like, "Oh, I've just done a 7-minute PR," and I looked at the actual scores. It's like 8 minutes something. I was like, "Brilliant. Okay, cool. Just knock yourself out there." It's all good, but yeah.
I think Jake got a really long time, by the way, because I think he did like an extra 2 laps that he didn't need to do or something stupid. Like we were taking the piss out of him saying he couldn't count.
I thought he would like with confidence. I think I would go in and be able to do about a 1:20. I think with confidence, just based off longevity of like being able to train, right? But yeah, I thought because he's in good shape, right? He looks like he is. Unless he's posting fucking things from 2 years ago. Maybe his Instagram's just false. Go check out Jake. I reckon it's all wrong. Like absolutely lying to us. Anyway, everybody who doesn't know who these people are. No idea. But yeah. we had him on the podcast, didn't we? We did a miserable fucking dream day with them, where they basically do the same things.
Yeah, I think he did extra laps, so that'll be why.
That is funny. That is funny. That's where I'm assuming he had a coach for it. I don't know, but there's certain tricks that you can do.
I don't think he did. I think he still works with Paul. So I think he just. Obviously Paul would have trained him for it in terms of the training, but I think it was just like literally the extra cardio and running and relied on a bit of strength. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the general vibe. I don't think he did it to try and be amazing at it or set an amazing time. I think it was more just
he just wanted to do it.
Done it.
Yeah. I think it was a thing that we can talk about is setting something up and why people should practice what they preach kind of shit. But yeah, we should talk about Honduras, I guess.
Yes, Tom went to Honduras. Why? What happened in Honduras, Tom? Talk us through the wonderful time that you had there.
It was good. Yeah, I had a fun time. So it was London to Miami. To Miami, stayed overnight there, literally got in late, and then I literally people were like, "Oh, you're gonna go out anywhere?" No, I'm such a boring cunt that I got in at about 10 p.m, went straight to the hotel, ordered room service, and fell asleep. And then what did I do when I woke up? I got up, got a Starbucks, and had a little walk around, and then I went to the airport. I was like, I can't be bothered. Like, I'm gonna make myself more tired. Literally, like, did it the first time I went to Miami. I was like, I'll go out for dinner. Blah, blah, blah. End up spending fucking nearly 200 quid on my own. Like, and I was like, this place is expensive. So I'm not doing that again. Fuck that. But yeah, interesting. Then yeah, I went to Honduras. So the main theme was to have an engagement party, which was fun. Very fun.
Mm.
Was a little bit of social anxiety, obviously, which was brought on by the fact that me and Chloe were probably the people who knew about everything the least in the engagement party because it was all being set up by my future mother-in-law. So like they had like a little party planner and like got some stuff. 50 people were invited. We had a band.
Mm.
There was literally I dare like give you the list of alcohol. 30 bottles, so 50 people, 30 bottles of tequila, at least
Good Lord.
five bottles of gin, 6 bottles of vodka, maybe 8 bottles of like other stuff. Like literally, like
Mate, it sounds like the
there
list
was
for your stag do.
there were pretty much there was literally I reckon between 50 people there was definitely about 70 bottles, maybe full bottles of
Oh.
liquor. How insane! I was like, and I was there like I like had a load of gin, I had a load of tequila because the tequila's there is good, right?
Is it bad that
So
I think that's like a problem? That seems like
oh
over
yeah, it's
over a bottle
so
each.
excessive.
Like, surely
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
sat
yeah.
there like,
Of liquor as well,
yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah. And
not
it
of
wouldn't have been
beer.
small bottles, would it? It would have been liter bottles,
No,
wouldn't it? It wouldn't have been
yeah,
like, yeah, yeah. I just think that's a problem. Like, has someone not gone
yeah.
like,
I would like literally Chloe sent it to me because her brother sent it to me, and I was like, seems like quite a lot. He was like, nah, that's about right. I was like, are you fucking insane? Or we giving it away? Like, what the hell?
fucking hell?
Um, yeah, so that was fun. So I had a lot of gin and I had a lot of tequila, but I was sensible because I went to bed at 1:30. Chloe stayed up till like 3 with her dad and like a couple of friends and her brother. I was like, look, we're flying tomorrow morning. Like, so we took, and I knew what plane we were getting. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. Like, I know we're in the smallest plane in the world tomorrow. So, and yep, that paid dividends because
Yeah.
Laura was so not on the plane. She was very squeamish, but the plane was tiny. I sat next to the pilot, 6-seater, single propeller on the front. Yeah, it was absolutely could only take hand luggage to the extent. Yeah, so I don't know whether you've been in one of these planes or anybody listening, but like if I were to do this, like moving around, just rock from backwards and forwards, 100% the plane he'd be like would rock backwards and forwards so much. It's like terrifying.
Mm.
Beautiful, like flying over the sea and the islands. Did I show? No, I think I was showing some guys. Obviously, I sent like whilst I was there, I was sending stuff to Dan because we're cool like that.
Yeah.
Um, wish you here, love you. Sent him a
Yeah.
postcard. Yeah, because I was just like, this is like just a different world. So we go to the islands, and there was like 6 conservation islands. It was cool. So we saw sort of like they basically all charity run. They're non-profit. They have like a limited number of like chalets and stuff that you can stay on these like private islands. It's really cool, amazing place to be put up. So luckily, one of Chloe's friends and the family friends, they direct and run the trust and stuff. So which is really
Mm.
cool. So we got to stay there. But never done so much snorkeling in my life. I was like, oh, there's a fish. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, there's a fish. So I sort of
Tends to what happens when you go snorkeling, isn't it? That fish.
no, fish, loving fish. I was chasing them as well and waving to them like. Um, if somebody had like a camera on me like the whole time, they'd be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" I'm like, hey, and then like doing this at them to see if they're like doing chompers, like with my hands to see if they run away from me. Then some were getting nervously too close to me, and I was like, "Fuck off, go away, go." I don't want you to come close to me, even though I'm portraying this macho persona. Saw a starfish, pretty cool. So I want to go do my paddy there. That'd be fun. I want to go do my paddy. I'm a little bit shit scared of like going down deep and stuff. This isn't the fact that like, oh, and I'm big headed. I'm a very strong swimmer, so I don't mind all that kind of stuff. I've got no issue with like swimming around. But there's something slightly scary about going down super deep, like getting the bends
Yes.
and stuff, like
Yes,
all that
agreed.
kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like something like of complete unknown. Even like when I'm snorkeling, like going over the edge of the reef to where the deep bit is, to where the possibly like the nurse sharks or the turtles and stuff would be. I kind of had to pluck up the courage to be like, let's go. And that's only like maybe 5 to 8 meters deep. And I'm like still like looking down, but it's still like into the abyss kind of thing. And you're like, fuck. You're like, I feel like going into that scenario, you feel how insignificant you are, like, and how small you are. That's my issue. I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. I think it'd be the same thing if you went to space, right? You're just like, oh, God.
I
Just
think
to
it'd be a bit bigger in space, Tom. I think it'd be that feeling be a bit bigger in space, maybe.
similar thing, similar kind of alien beings, if we're honest.
Similar vibe. Yeah.
Similar vibe. So we stayed there. I got to complete a life quest of holding a sloth. It was cool.
Was it sleep on you?
No, it didn't sleep. It didn't sleep on me. It was just doing this. That's me doing like a face. They move their heads so slow. They're so cute. Like literally, I was like, oh my God, I get to hold a sloth. This is amazing. I didn't want to like go. I had so many pictures of them. It was called Flash. Good name for sloth, I think.
Nice. About to say very good name for
it. But what was weird in that, like, there was like an animal like sanctuary. It's like, like animals that like in the wild, whatever, blah blah blah. What was quite strange, they were like showing, here's like this capuchin monkey, like cool. Here's a sloth. Here's this like other creature. Here's a macaw. All these native things to Roatan, which was the next island we went to. And then here's a pheasant. I was like, "Why you got a pheasant in the? Why have you got a pheasant in the thing?" They're like, and then this woman, like the Honduran lady, was starting to talk to me, like, "Oh yeah, so it's this." I was like, "You don't need to. Do you want to go in and see it?" And I was like, "You're fine. Like I eat these frequently." I was like, "You're good." She was like, "Oh, like they taste like chicken, correct?" And I was like, "Nah, they don't taste like chicken whatsoever." I was like, "It's a lot more gamey
than that."
I was like, very gamey. So, but I don't think gamey exists in their culture. So I was like, yeah, it's like pheasant, partridge, guinea fowl, that kind of are all very similar. Chicken, very, very white. Like, yeah, that's fine. So that was interesting, trying to explain the taste of a pheasant. I didn't think I was going to do that whilst I was walking around the animal sanctuary.
Yeah, I bet.
Sunsets were unbelievable. I was obsessed with hermit crabs. Amazing. They're so fun. There were so many on the island. You know, did you ever used to like when you go outside, right? And maybe in the countryside of like England and stuff, and there'd be snails kind of everywhere, and you'd accidentally maybe tread on one. Maybe I don't know if you did that. Yeah, that was what it was like. Fucking hermit crabs, like fucking everywhere, and then they'd line themselves everywhere. I was like, fuck. And there's like big ones and little ones, and they're so scared of everything. You literally go near them, they're like, and they just like tuck back into their shell.
Yeah.
So, really cute, really funny. But that was fun. And then saw some people who I showed Dan. I think I did it on a little reel as well. How big, like literally the island. We stayed on a smaller island, which kind of like you can walk around like 10 minutes takes to walk around, if that. It was gorgeous. But we went to about 6 islands around there. One of them has native people. I can't remember what they're called, but they live there. They're kind of kind of Caribbean, kind of / Honduran, because this is in the Caribbean Sea, and they live there 24/7. And like, I was just like, this is insane. No internet. Some of them had like maybe a phone or two, like just radio, just catch fish, serve it to people who are doing their paddies or snorkeling, and maybe come to visit on the conservation. And the island is smaller than half a block, like a cul-de-sac in England. Literally, you could walk around it in less than 10 minutes.
Proper off-grid.
It's insane. I was just like, I would walk in, like it was like Friday lunchtime, and there's like a bunch of kids there, and I'm like, they'd be in school. And like Sarah, who's the director of like the whole trust, she was like, "There's a school over there. Yeah, they should probably be there, but they're just here catching fish, like stabbing a fish in the eye." I'm like, all right, because that was basically like Chloe's father is like, he's very like worldly and stuff, and he's like, "Look, you Europeans have got different problems. It's like these guys aren't even going to school, like some of them, a lot of them, like, and you're sitting there with a master's degree thinking you've got problems that he was talking to his friend in Switzerland who need to pass a law because the geese are getting too fat for foie gras. He's like, that's a very different problem in Europe compared to what we have of like education, being able to live and fucking survive, right? Obviously, that's not everywhere in Honduras, but there's a certain part and parcel, and it's like he's like, you guys, yeah, it's insane.
Makes you realize, doesn't it?
It just does. Like it's so interesting, and I kind of like that's what a holiday should be like. Total like I don't know, pun fish out of water, but yeah, totally different to what you're doing. And that was what was quite refreshing. It was quite cool. That's why I enjoyed it.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
I mean, plot twist: Tom's moving to that island, so he's going to live there forever.
I'm going to be the island PT. I heard there's an opening. Currently, weirdly, our luxury business hasn't made it to the islands yet. But one of the islands they still do. If anybody wants to go and see where I was for a little bit, the Spanish Survivor TV show. So I'm sure everybody knows what Survivor is. That is currently being filmed there at one of these islands. So you can go have a look where it is. So we had a little tour around all these Spanish kind of C-list celebrities. Didn't know who they were. All very self-important. I'm sure.
Absolute bottom of the barrel celebrities.
Literally every like celebrity who thinks they've got massive main character syndrome are like there. Obviously, it'd be absolutely intolerable, wouldn't it? Like, could you imagine?
Oh,
could you imagine being? Would you? What actually is a great question. On what show? Which of those celebrity kind of basis kind of getaway shows would you do if you had to? Gun to head, Dan. You're not allowed to play golf for the rest of your life until you go to one of these shows. So what have we got? We've got Big Brother, Survivor, which is kind of the same as I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. But a bit hush. What more have you? What have you got now? The Traitors. The Traitors. What else you got? So there must be some others that are screaming up.
Oh, there will be quite a few, mate. Yeah, we've got. Some of these are fucking dreadful, aren't they? To be fair, I've just gone on top reality TV shows, and of course, some of them are like too hot to handle. No, that's not it, is it?
No, not stuff like that. No. We want like you're stuck kind of somewhere kind of places, right?
Yeah. I'm putting the wild. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, I think for me is like I would probably do. I think Big Brother.
You would do Big Brother.
I just feel like I feel like Survivor's just a bit like I'd be hungry, I'd be grumpy, I'd have to rely on fucking actually doing something and being good at it. Whereas Big Brother's a little bit more like it'd be more boring for sure, but I feel like there'd be less like I don't know. Issues with that sort of shit. You're not getting bitten by stuff, snakes and fucking all that. Just not a huge fan of that. I could kill my own food and that. I think would be okay. That wouldn't be as much of a thing for me. It's more just the being bitten by crap and running out of water and like come on. Like,
right.
I'm just too much of a princess for that. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just gonna say it as it is. Whereas I feel like Big Brother, at least there. It's like, okay, I'm warm. There's no creepy crawlies. There's fucking morons in there and they're in more close proximity. So I think that is what I'd probably choose. But at the same time, I think I wouldn't hate Survivor because I do feel like you just said, it's almost like it would be like, wow, this is real. Like this is fucking mad how out my comfort zone this is.
Yeah.
Which I think would be quite a cool thing. If they could say to me, right, you can do this, but there's going to be no snakes. You're not going to get bitten by anything weird. I'd do it. And you're not going to run out of water. I'd do it. But they can't guarantee that. I think that's the whole point of it, right?
That's the thing, is it? As a child, like, you're like, oh, they're celebrities, they're safe, they're TV, but shit can go wrong. They obviously got all the precautions, and we got toured around all the TV sets, and it's mad around the thing. But 100%, they're like they could get bitten by something. I think the water stuff, obviously, because I saw where like Sarah, where they take in rainwater and like purify it and stuff like that was cool. But yeah, super interesting. So I didn't think on those islands I don't think there was anything that was particularly like savage, I think, for biting you. Because that was one of the things as well. And I'm like, this one of the islands, the Survivor Island, full of fucking iguanas. loads of them. Couldn't fucking move for them. Like they didn't give a shit about you because they're so like there's nothing that hunts them essentially apart from
Yeah.
dungeons. So they're like, you don't scare me. And I was like, how did they get here? How did iguana get here? We're
Good point.
miles from mainland. I'm like, how did it get here? Because that was like one of the friends, Laura, when we were on the private island. She was like, is there anything here, like animals? And I was like, Laura, like, how the fuck are they going to get here? Like, there can't be anything here. But there was geckos. I was like, how the fuck are there geckos here? Like, they
Yeah,
must have
they
come.
must have
They must have stowed away on a boat
been
somehow, and
imported.
then yeah, they must have got on a boat, right? Not like
Yeah, I guess so.
I've got a ticket, but they've stowed away on a boat somehow and kind of travelled their way over. Because I was just like, how's that happened? So many crabs, I get they can swim, like they're coming through the water. Birds, I
Mm.
get they can fly, but stuff like geckos, I'm like these tiny things that are like as big as you, like smaller than your head, really, aren't they? You've got millions of them in there, and there's even more in Honduras, and it's like weird. So yeah,
There you
don't know,
go.
mate.
Well, there we go.
That
We've all learned something about Honduras. So
that
there we
puzzled
go.
me more than anything else. So yeah, but it was super funny about like the researchers that were there. They've got a dossy job, haven't they? Fuck me. What they're just like one of their jobs. I was talking to one guy who was like, yeah, so next like 2 weeks, I've got to do an iguana census. I was like, that sounds amazing, to be honest.
What?
I was
Count all
like,
the iguanas?
count the fucking iguanas. Like, I was like, Jesus. I was like, that sounds infuriating more than anything else. Like, it
Don't
sounds
move.
like
Don't move. Don't move. I
you
counted
stay
you.
there,
You're in
stay
that
there. No,
size.
come on, Clive, stay there. Come on. He just names them all. That guy's Jerry. That guy's. I was like, fucking hell. I was like, how is that even possible? Obviously, they've all got like scans or whatever, like when they do that kind of stuff. But I guess they're just trying to control populations or blah 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 and all this kind of stuff. So very interesting.
Mm.
But yeah, don't know. Don't really know. And there was like three or four researchers, and usually when like a researcher's there, they've got a few PhD students with them who are going to be doing the real work, and then the photographer and stuff like that. They're all staying in this like nice island by themselves. I was like, this is a cool life. That's cool. Yeah, I'd still
Yeah.
we can live that life, but we'd still lock ourselves away in like I did under us. Yeah, I locked myself away in an office just to not be disturbed, so I could do my check-ins. It's
Isn't it
very
crazy? You got all those
sad.
people around you. You got all those people around you with all that ability and all that skill and those cool jobs, and you're going to do check-ins as you go
No,
into that office.
literally, that's so sad, isn't it? I'm just like, sorry, I've got to go in here, like lock myself
I've got to go
away.
and yeah, I've got to go and tell some people how to lift weights better. Okay, sweet. So, yeah, no,
Literally,
fun
so
times,
so
man.
so pathetic. That's like great, cool. Yeah, hasn't quite. Then
Well, that's what it's all
it's quite
about, isn't it? It's about challenging yourself and challenging the thought process. So,
yeah.
done
It's quite interesting explaining to obviously it's not really a massive culture and like PT and like whatever in Honduras. Explaining to people what I do, I didn't pay for that. Like, yeah, weirdly, I don't know really. I don't know why.
that.
I'm good
Weirdly,
at it as well. Weirdly, I'm good at getting people to do it as well. So yeah, very odd. They're like, oh, that's really
yeah.
cool. Like, thanks, because they're all in like very because of how it is very kind of normalized industries. They're like, yeah, we own like chicken farms or we do
Yes,
materials
yeah,
and
yeah.
we do trade and we own shops and we own this stuff and it's all very kind of I'm a lawyer, all very jobs that were definitely a thing maybe for us always 50, 60 years ago.
Mm.
And yeah, obviously they've got their own like influencers and stuff like that, that's a thing. But I didn't say it. I was like, well, kind of a big deal. I've got a few thousand people that follow me around.
Kind
Could
of a
you
big deal.
imagine? They'll be like, no, you're not. It's quite fun. Anyway, mate,
Crazy.
yeah. But
Well,
wedding planning is happening. Date is done. Venue is booked. Contract signed. So that's slightly scary. Um,
yeah,
hands on stag do
we
duty.
all need to go on diets. Yeah.
No, my diet's already started, mate. Like literally, I'm getting there as quickly as possible. Just and then maintaining. Like I've in the people are going to be like, "Well, you're mad," but I've set my calorie target at like 1650. I'm gonna be there for a little bit because that is low. But obviously, I think I'm gonna do day on, day off kind of thing because I've got Ironman training to do. So I would probably
Yeah.
need to fuel myself for that a little bit. But on days off, yeah, I'll be low. So I've got to get
Yeah.
down. Got to get down for that, mate. get down for the big day, and then I'll balloon straight back up. Fun.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it's not my day, is it? So I don't need to be as worried about it. But there's still a part of me that's like, I still need to lose a little bit though. Like, so.
Well, there's one thing is everybody will be very excited about because obviously I've got to take Dan for suit shopping, so I'm quite looking forward to that because I don't think I've ever seen you in a suit actually.
You probably haven't, to be fair. I don't think many people have. I think Laura's as excited as anyone. I think, fuck me, like she hasn't seen me in one for a fucking while. So yeah, that'll be fun. I'm gonna get one of those ones, in between us, frilly, the frills on it. I've got to go too jazzy, too jazzy, jazzy. Yeah, that's what just go jazzy, mate. Everything.
It's to be quite funny because me and you have to have similar whatever. But it's like morning suits and then stuff for the evening as well. So
fucking hell, yeah.
But because you're actually part of the wedding party, so you have to do it with me, unfortunately. We've kind of said on the invites, if people aren't in the wedding party, they're free to do if they want. We are doing black tie, but it's fine if you just change your tie. It's cool. Girls will probably change they any excuse to wear a gown. That's fine. But you actually have to. Sorry.
I have to. Yeah, that's part of the rules. Yeah,
I'm gonna get you a nice white one. I'm gonna be like, no, rules are rules. You got all white.
When I'm a pasty fucker anyway, as it is, you're just wearing a white suit. Dan, where's Dan gone? Was there a ghost in it?
There it is. That's the ghost of the palace. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fun.
Oh, I'm going to turn like Donald Trump with just like an orange face. Just like down my face.
That's what happened. Put a little wig on. Be lovely.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, Dan,
I definitely need to diet for that. Fuck me, Jesus.
Right, what else has been happening? I feel like I've been talking about my extravagant.
Well, we talked
lifestyle.
about. I mean, we're talking about fitness stuff. We're talking about your post you put up, but I mean, similar to what we talked about the with the High Rocks thing and you doing it because you need to walk the walk. People getting triggered by this.
Well, you do it all the time, don't you? That's one thing. Dan is annoyingly. There's two things Dan is very good at social media. Only two. I'll list them. Being on it and then not being on it. Amazing at it. No, he's very good on his stories at invoking a response and annoying people. Essentially,
I mean, my missus says I can do it by breathing, so that's one skill I've got.
I mean, same. It's insane. It's crazy. Yeah, just by sitting in the car, I'm like, what are you doing? I don't think I'm doing anything. Well, stop doing it. All right, okay. Sorry. Why aren't you talking? I'm like, I don't know, because we're all really tired and it's like really late. Well, make conversation. I'm like, all right, brilliant. So you do consistent stories very well. Scott, Dan posted eggs all the fucking time. I refuse to comment because I know you won't comment on it. And also they're shit eggs.
Ooh.
Oh, I've tasted them. And then other stuff, he's very good at hitting it in terms of niche wise, trying to invoke a thought and make you think about yourself in that kind of way, which is something that I think I'm learning to do. It also takes a bit of like swallowing your tongue because there's obviously some people that you can trigger. I'm using things, but it also resonates because if you see something that you almost get a negative response, people more than likely go, I feel exactly the same way, or it's almost like you know me. It's very good copy. So Dan's good at copywriting. So yeah, that kind of thing. So I was like, I'm going to do a little dip in the toe because it's genuinely something we talked about previously. And there is much something when I talk to coaches, very much in like workshops and stuff. I was like, you are your product, right? And that comes across as when you do a movement to coach, people will copy exactly what you do. So you better be able to fucking do that exercise before you coach it, and it better look awesome. Because I pride myself in being able to do pretty fucking well every single thing I can prescribe to someone. Like, I'm not going to give somebody something that I suck at really badly. Apart from
the interesting thing there is like you just said about the interesting thing there, like you said about the copy thing, is also like me being able to tell people my copy, but being shit, it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it's literally this thing, right? And I think it applies in so many things in the world, but personal trainers just get so triggered by the way that you say things, and I'm going to be really harsh here, and it's kind of like jumping on what you just said there as well. Is like, to me, when people get triggered by these things and they jump on them very, very quickly, it almost shows a somewhat, and I'm going to be a bit harsh, some people might not agree, but I don't really care. It shows somewhat, in my opinion, somewhat of a lack of emotional intelligence to take a step back, remove themselves from the situation, and read what you've actually written. Because what happened with you is the same thing that happens with me in the way that I say things, is that people read between the lines and they are so determined to prove you wrong that they read something that you haven't written.
Yeah.
So I believe, Tom, you said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, so correct me if where I'm wrong, but I believe you said something along the lines of, in my opinion, every single trainer should be working towards something or doing the thing that they claim to help with. Was it?
Yeah.
I'm going to paraphrase that, right?
Is
what
like
personal trainers do?
Look the part, essentially.
Look the part. Yes, that's the, yeah. You said look the part, right? So, and what people do is they jump on that and they go, so you're trying to say that all personal trainers should be lean and have six packs?
Well, thank you. That's exactly what people thought.
Where did I say that? Where did I say that? Can you tell me where that's written? And no, but that's what you're implying. No, that's what you're implying by the way that you read it, because of your preconceptions and because of your own biases. You've read that because you think that people will say that personal trainers should look a certain way. What Tom meant was that, as you alluded to on the next slide when you went on your stories, is that they should look the part for the part they're trying to play. So if you're trying to be a powerlifter, play the part of a powerlifter. You should look like a powerlifter. How do they look? Well, big and strong. Correct. You should look the part of, again, even down to being a personal trainer. I would even argue, right, even the intricacies of fucking at least as well, when we get to work, literally dress the part, like look like you fucking give a shit, right? As part of it. There's another question entirely. If you're a high rocks coach, do a high rocks. Look the part means those things. But this is what I find with copywriting that's so valuable, is that you can trigger emotions and response to people, and it actually highlights their prejudices, not yours, because you're leaving it very open-ended and very ambiguous in what you say. And it always amazes me how often people jump in, and I just sit back and go, where did I say that? Because you at no point said that personal trainers need to be lean at any point in that post.
Never. I would never write that because I don't believe it. I don't believe that they should be lean, because I'm like, look, I coach strongmen. I've got some strongmen that I coach. Are they lean? Some of them are, because they're having to weight categories, but some of them aren't. Like, it's fine. Like, but there's also it's a whole scope of people that I train, and none of them are all in exactly the perfect shape, but they're practicing. They've come to me because they want to be able to be better at the thing that they're coaching people for. So, which is generally speaking, like, and I'm exactly the same. I end up coaching. That's why I'm big on setting goals and targets and training for something. I believe, yes, people should be able to just train for enjoyment. 100%. I won't caveat that. It's absolutely fine. As long as that's all their aim is, then I might not be the coach for you, because I'm going to be like, I get anxiety when I'm like, what are we working towards? Because I'm like, I don't like going through the mill kind of thing, especially with online. I'm like, feel like you're not getting I feel guilty because you're not getting the best of me, that kind of thing. So it's like, all right, I need to work back from something and peak you for something to make sure you get to be the best person that you can be. So it's interesting when some people like, I at least got 2 or 3 messages straight away of like, what do you mean? And then one was like, one ex-client of mine who wants to come back, and he's like, you've literally done it again. This is exactly how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm kind of there, but because I'm almost lying to my clients. They're trying to achieve something, but I'm not. I'm like, sort it out then. Really simple. What is your goal? Your goal could be as simple as squat to, and like, I don't know, 150 kilos, 2 times your body weight. That's fine. That's a some sort of goal, or to look slightly leaner, or to do this. But it's that thing. They've just literally gone, you think you should look a certain way. Like, no. That's the common misconception that I 100% was playing on, and I wanted to invoke their reaction. I knew that somebody would react like that, but I purposely, very thoughtfully, did not write it.
And I think as well, like that, in my opinion, good coaches just ask good questions and they question people. I think that copywriting and I think marketing in general on social media, it just allows you to show you're a good coach because you ask the right questions. You go, why do you think like that? Why do you feel like that? So like one of the big things that I talk about with people, and this kind of is somewhat related to this. So it's a tiny bit of a tangent, but somewhat related, is that I always say that often people are unhappy because their expectations and the reality have not been met. Right? And I say this regularly to my clients as I sit there and go, okay, you're upset right now because your expectation was here and the reality is here. And I was like, so there's two scenarios here that play out. Either the reality that we're in is wrong and we need to fix the reality and you need to do something about that, or your expectations were well off. Which do we think it is? And they were like, oh. And I go, what were your expectations? I didn't really set any. So how can you say that you're unhappy with it? Because you didn't lay out your expectations. You didn't verbalize what you're expecting to happen over this time period. Get that a lot with people. I put out this content, I'm not really getting anything back. What were you expecting back? What were you, is there any, have we set any targets, any goals, like what's the tangible outcome here? Well, I wanted a bit more. Bit more what? Well, I thought I'd get a bit of this. Well, where have you ever said that or written that down? Where's that been a target for this content? Because the way you've made this content is not with that target in mind. Because if you wanted that target, you should have done this, this, and this with the content. What you're doing is throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, which means, in my opinion, that your expectations are well off. And actually, reality is exactly what you should get, and you deserve exactly what you've got. And it's that look of, like you just said there, the reason this has triggered me is because you said about the back squat. It's almost like someone coming to you and going, I want to be better at squatting. And you go, okay, like what? Form, depth, like time under tension, weight on the bar, like front squat, back squat, goblet squat, split squat, like what? Whereas when you say tangibly, I want to lift 150 kilos on my back squat within the next 6 months by training 3 times a week, doing an undulating periodization program, and I want to have 4 delos of this, this, and this, I can then go, well, your expectations well off because you currently squat 60 kilos. We need to readjust that. And maybe the goal is here, here, and here. But what coaches do with their business and their social media, they just go, I want to do better. And I go, oh, okay, thanks for that. Brilliant. Like, okay, so do I. But what does that mean? What does that look like? And as a coach, I think that we're not supposed to necessarily give people the goal. We're asking the questions for them to figure it out and go, well, what does that mean? Where do you get to with that? What does that look like? What does that? So then when you ask these questions on social media and you post your content in a way that's like that, for me, it's a learning experience. I go, why have you come to that conclusion? Why have you jumped to that? Well, you're saying everyone needs to be lean, aren't you? I'm like, not once have I said that, but that's obviously what you think. Where's that thought come from? Why do you think that? Is that because you're overweight and you feel like you're being judged for being overweight? No. Okay, I'm asking you the question. I didn't say anything. And you can tell when people start getting defensive and they start getting like, you go, you've got something you need to sort out there, because again, the expectation of reality is kind of off. You're expecting what? To go on social media and not have your thoughts like questioned.
Yeah.
Like, well, you live in an echo chamber then. And it's like, no, you live in an echo chamber because no, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just posing a question to the world. You're suggesting that everything you see on social media should be positive and something that you like and something that you agree with. And I'm saying that's not healthy. I'm saying that's not a world that you should be living in. And it's just funny how this can be created just from some basic questions like that. That to me, again, it comes back to, and I might sound a bit harsh doing this, it comes back to emotional intelligence and being able to sit back, remove yourself from a situation and go, what has actually happened here? What has actually happened? And what are my biases and my prejudice bringing to the table that's making me see this differently through my lens of the world? That is a very, very difficult skill. And it is a skill that all the coaches that do very, very well with their online business and their content are able to do. They're able to take off their lens of how they see the world, put someone else's lenses on and go, I need to make content like this. I need to say these things. I need to poke this question. I need to poke this emotion. And then know that's the right thing to say. That's a peek behind the curtain of, for me, what I believe is missing in the current fitness space is that everyone is so quick to put on their lenses and just shout and scream about why everyone else is wrong. What if they're not wrong for the people that they work with or they work for or that they want to help? And the more that coaches can step back and see content for what it is and understand these things are in play, A, the less likely they're going to be emotional about it, and B, they're going to know far more how to post the right stuff for their own niche, like you've just done there. Where you go, an ex-client reaches out and goes, like, he's talking to me. It's like, correct, I am talking to you because this is exactly who it's for. It's not for the person that got triggered and went, oh, I think I need to lose weight. You tell me I need to lose weight. Maybe you do, because you clearly think you do, because you're going on about it, not me. I've not mentioned it. It's just funny, isn't it? How people can bring their own issues to the table.
Literally, because I was in a coffee shop and I was just having a little thought, and I was like, fine, I need to take pictures like this and stuff. I was like, I need some story stuff, and I had 2 consultations the day before, and it was only because and kind of stuff in my consultation comes up every single time. And obviously I'm going to be like, look, I had 2 conversations. It was exactly the same, blah, blah, blah. These are the people I work with, blah, blah, blah. It's all good. I was just like, it's probably people thinking the same thing. So, and yeah, 100%. Yeah, and they certainly were. Which is always fine.
Yeah.
Like, exactly what the content's meant to have. I want people to come to me with, like, because if they're a case of like, fuck, actually, yeah, I do need some help. Yeah, 100%. You see the work we're doing with fucking the higher ups people or whatever people at events, like, I want to help you. And both me and Dan are good at our jobs. And if you listen and follow what we do or say, chances are you'll probably be productive and you'll feel better for it. Which is a good thing. I think people maybe think, oh, really? Like, literally, I had a consult. So I had 2 then. I had one as soon as I walked back on the door. But this was a weird one because this was one thing that actually I went on a slight tangent on in terms of, this is something that obviously you've been good at in terms of drilling into me, getting like social proof a lot, get social proof out there, be proved that you're fucking good at your job. And the lad had only been following me for about a month, and saw that I'd like helped some golfers and blah blah blah. And literally on the back end of it, this is what's good for like coaches and stuff, have social proof ready to go. Because I was like, look, is there anybody you'd like to like look at or blah blah blah, see similar kind of instances with you? And I was just like thinking, I was like, fuck, I can literally write a list of 20, 30 coaches that I've helped or are still with me, doing the same thing he's just been through, and gone, there you go speak and I was like, look, I'm going to give you their Instagram and the story that I wrote about them, and they can go and I was like, 100% go message them. I'm not going to say anything to them, like, but if they've had a positive experience, they'll message you back and be like, cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was quite nice to be like, you do it all the time in terms of posting, but it's quite an interesting thing. And I was like, fuck, it's taken me a while to get to that stage. And I think it's a realization for a lot of like coaches and stuff like that, possibly have that not ready to go, but maybe like a good list of people that you're like, if this is this, because I had quite a few from different scenarios, right? Maybe people with like not eating disorders or neurological disorders, or people, especially from new coaches. I'm good at helping new coaches get their feet on the ground with their training and sorting problems out. And I was like, look, this person's been with me from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And it's like, yeah, it's good. I think people should have that ready to go. Their social proof is high. So yeah.
I think social proof is just so valuable. Like, I think that people really don't understand the kind of, I say, the point of it, but it's your currency for me. Whenever I see people that are doing well in this industry, they can always rely and fall back on social proof. Like, it is the currency that honestly, like, everyone needs, and I don't think enough coaches have. But also as well, they forget that they think it needs to be all visual. And as we've just established, it doesn't need to be visual at all. It can be, written, it could be, verbal, it can be video. There's so many things that it can be, that I think that people forget that. Coaches forget that, a lot, is that they forget that they just need little drips and drabs of just proof that you're good at what you do.
I think immediately the first, when I obviously worked with Mike, and the first thing he said about some of my social proof, he was like, turn that into fucking 3 posts. Fuck me. Like, what? Yeah. Like, it's too long. It's like, you can get so much more out of that and tell 3 different stories instead.
It's just making it bite-sized sometimes. It's just like, people don't need it like all in one hit.
Yeah, exactly. And like explaining how somebody's got there all at once. Yeah. Don't need it. Explain the first part of the story, and then be like, oh, I'll check back later in the week and I'm going to explain the next part of that story of that person. Yeah, that's cool. It's also a little lead on. It's like, all right, you're going to come back for that. Maybe if you're interested in coaching, you would make the effort to come back to see how that person's doing. Oh, the lead on
And
times
also
a
as well,
week.
what people do with that as well with social proof is they go through it. So if I'm on your page, I'm going to go through it, I'm going to see it, and I'm going to just click on multiple bits. That's why I think it's really important on your page that social proof is really obvious on your page, because people, that's the one bit of content. If I want to work with you, I'm going to go on your page, I'm going to look at a few different people's stuff, and I'm going to check it out, and I'm going to find it. So you need to make it like ours. We make it really obvious. It's really clear which bits are our social proof, because I want you to go through and click it. Rather than what people do is they hide it in all this shit. And I'm like, don't hide it. Like, it needs to be front and center. It needs to be there so that when I'm on your page, I can visibly see where it is. And yeah, this, again, people just don't do that enough. Like, ours is always, again, you can see on our page, like if you go on it, you can see which ones are the social proof posts because of the colors on them. Like, again, I know it's a bit blurred on the screen, but you just go through and you go, oh, that's another one. That's another one. That's another one. And you just create a system whereby it's almost foolproof for them to not see it.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah. Anyway, went quite deep in there again, didn't we?
There's
a lot of very useful stuff in there. If people made it through the Honduras iguana shit, then there's some valuable stuff in there. So that's what we do on this podcast. You see, we actually want to make sure that only those that are dedicated get all the good shit. So that's what's just happened.
I'm almost like, should I flip it around and cut that bit to there? But fuck them.
No, fuck 'em, mate. Yeah. I think to make sure the hook's quite good and there's secrets to come later on in the rest of the podcast. But mate, I know Clara's there taking notes of that. Clara's there taking notes, mate. She's like,
it's super funny as well. Like, bless her. One of the best clients I've ever worked with. But it's so funny when I actually talk to her normally, because I spoke to Mike about this as well. She's just, I always have her on 1.5, and when I speak to her normally, I'm like, why are you speaking so slowly?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But I used to do that with all my clients. Like, I used to have someone I'm like, oh my God, like, is something wrong with you? I watch it on one speed. Is everything okay?
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm just like,
I think you just adapt to it, don't you? Like, well, I think me and you speak quite quickly anyway.
You do, yeah.
So I think whenever I can't listen to my own stuff on 1.5 speed. Like, it sounds too weird. Like, I'm too quick. Yeah. But yeah, everyone else's, I'm like, wow, I'm always speeding up. Like, I think some of my clients put like 1.7, 1.8, and I can quite easily hear it. Fine. I'm like,
really?
Fine.
Yeah. Okay, no. Yeah. There's some that I can't. My Scottish clients, I can't. I have no idea what they're saying.
That's a given, yeah.
I'm like, fucking hell, I've got to actually listen to this. Jesus Christ. I charge them extra. I'm
about to say,
I'm like, yeah. Whereas like some of the, like Tony out there, name and shame him. Like, I could put his at like 7 times the speed, I'd still understand it. So, bless him. He knows it as well. He won't listen to this. He's fine. Good. All right. Any other business?
Not for me, no. No. We're all good.
We're all good. We haven't got a recording next week, have we? Because
no, we haven't. No.
Yeah, which is fine. I might do a Vault episode. I'll write that down.
Mate, there's so much gold in this one. There's so much gold in this one, mate. They should just listen to this one again.
Just put it into two. Yeah. We should have a producer where we can just go, James, can you put some music on here? Yeah, that's cool. Jaunty music.
Tell you what we should do is we should do something daft, like, you know now that we both work with Clara, she should be like the sub for like the other person when they're not around, like every so often. Just like Clara's
don't tease that, because she would fucking love it. That's the thing.
Because then I could come on over with her and just bitch about you, and then when I'm not here, you can just come on and bitch about me. It's quite funny.
I mean, if anybody wants that, let us know.
Except Clara, she gets no vote. So no vote doesn't count on that. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. That's it. That's it for this week.
Dan with the carrot. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. I had a great time in Honduras. Dan will be explaining about his holiday in about 2 weeks' time, so that'll be fun. I get to sit back and listen.
Even more animals.
Even more animals. Yeah, correct. So. He's going. Where are you going?
I hope it's more exciting than just fucking iguanas that I see. Jesus Christ, I'm going to be really shovelly, wouldn't it?
Sort of fish, mate. If you see a hummingbird, mate, you're not going to see a hummingbird. If you've got to get visual proof of something that's really rare. Mine is hummingbird.
Okay, I'll find something really rare.
Challenge accepted. You got to put it on your stories as well, because people think I'm weird now because I like birds. No, it's not weird.
You do like birds, so it's a bit weird though.
I think they're fascinating. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you the week after next.
See you later.